Well, hello. In this video, we're going to look at the Vernon Parish Classroom at a Glance tool and kind of better understand how to fill it out, and then once it's filled out, how to use it. Now, I know that a lot of us see paperwork as just extra stuff, just let us get to teaching, but I think if you'll take a look at this video for just a few minutes, you can see that this tool can really target your teaching and will be a benefit for you. So let's just take a look at this information. Now, of course, I have made-up names, and I'm going to use some made-up scores. But what you're going to have to do is check with your principal or whoever is the keeper of the scores and get something that looks like a sheet like this. It's going to give, I have the names off here to the side so you can't see, but your scores are going to be an ELA, and it's going to break it down to the different subcategories. And then math will be on the right-hand side of this spreadsheet, and you're going to be listing kids as weak, strong, or moderate. So let's take a look at our scores. So using those raw scores from last year, we can kind of build a classroom that we can at a glance take a look at and see, where are our strong kids, where are our weak kids, where are our strong kids that have some slight weaknesses, things like that. All right, so you need to find out, of course, where your cutoff scores are going to be for last year or for this year. If you look on the Louisiana Department of Education website, you'll find some information such as this, where it will give your cut scores, and I know it says proposed, but now that these are finalized, that will tell you the difference between an advanced score in ELA and in math, basic ELA in math, unsatisfactory. And these are similar, but there are some differences. And so they'll have it for 4th grade, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, all the way up. So, and I'll probably link to that in my website underneath this video. So let's take a look at what we can do. All right, so let's look at Bert first. His scaled score is going to be a 751. Let's find 751 up here. 751 is a mastery, so his achievement level is a mastery. I'll go ahead and write out mastery so it doesn't look like moderate. But if you take a look, 751 is almost a basic. This child I'm going to have to be really careful with, because I do not want this 751 to drop any lower. So I'm going to box his score in red, just so whenever I look back at this, I keep thinking, okay, Bert, don't let him fall. Okay? We're going to leave that projected score out right now. The informational text, he scored an S. Literary text, an S. Vocabulary is a W. Written expression, did a moderate. And then knowledge of use of convention of language, it's going to be a strong. And then I can kind of look through here and say, okay, where do I need to work for this child? I need to work right here in vocabulary. And then I can put out my extra notes, information over here. All right, so let's quickly try to finish these up. We're going to do advance. This child scored an 820. 820 is kind of right here in the middle. No big problem. So we're going to have strong, strongs. Okay, we have a moderate, strong, strong. I'm starting to see a trend right here. Let's see if this keeps up. Target skills probably going to be right here. Look at Coyote. Coyote scored 689. 689 is an unsatisfactory. Guess I need to get that in there. And this one, W. This is a weak child across the board. Lots that we can do with this. We just have to target those skills and see what we need to do to bring this one up. All right, Foghorn Leghorn. Foghorn Leghorn scored a 701. Look at where the 701 is. This one is in very big danger of falling into the unsatisfactory. But they're at approaching basic right now. So what are we going to do with his score since it's so far down? In red, you can do it however you want to. I'm going to box mine in red. And then I'm going to look through the raw data, and I'm going to find that Foghorn was a moderate, weak, moderate, moderate. Okay. Roadrunner. Roadrunner is a 748. 748 falls right here on the edge of basic, almost a mastery. So I'm going to score them as a basic, and then, I love these pens, I'm going to go to a green for my coding. Your coding might be different. Green indicates to me that I have the ability to move that child up with just a little bit of work. So, on Roadrunner, let's look at his scores. He had a strong, a weak, a moderate, and a moderate. Bugs Bunny. He's a wise old Bugs Bunny. So Bugs Bunny, let's find 770. 770 is right here in the middle of mastery. Right, so he's parked right in the middle. And on Bugs Bunny, he has a S, an S, a W, an M, and an S. Let's look at old Sam. Yosemite Sam scored a 710, kind of right in the middle of approaching basic. Yosemite had a S, a W, a moderate, and an S. Again, strong, weak, moderate, strong. So this is probably enough. I'm not going to fill out any more on this, but this gives us some ideas. Now, whenever I have this paper in front of me, I can do some analyzing. Okay, so let's just take a look at, what we can figure out from this. Highlight, use colored pencils, whatever. You may even want to color code just by the W's and so forth. I am looking at this child right here, Coyote. Coyote has some problems going on. Okay? All the way through is RWs. Okay? I'm looking up here at Bert. Pretty good scores. Good scores across. This one has a couple of problems right here. Good scores, good scores. Well, medium good score. Yeah, good scores. Yep. And some moderate good scores. Okay, but we have some problems right there. All right, so we can tell our weak child here. But let's look at it up and down now. Now, by looking at it up and down, I notice that this group of students had a problem learning vocabulary last year. So let's take a look at this. All the way across the board, there are problems in vocabulary. Now, if I have a child who is strong, and weak in vocabulary, strong, moderate, strong, weak in vocabulary, this is either a teaching problem last year, or it could be a curriculum problem. Doesn't matter which one it was, that was last year. The past is in the past. What we need to make sure of is that we fix this issue right here. Okay? So I am really going to key in on vocabulary teaching this year. I see that literary text is pretty good, except for these two right here. So, can I use this to pull small groups? Yes, of course. If I'm pulling some small groups, I'm probably going to pull Foghorn and Sam if I'm working specific. And Coyote if I'm pulling for working specifically on literary text. If I am working on, let's say, do we see some more issues somewhere where we have several kids? All right, so the knowledge and use of language conventions, I can pull these two right here and work on small groups because this one I don't want to fall. This one I want to increase and get up to mastery. So use this information. It can give you some very pointed, good things to look at in your classroom. Okay, now let's continue by looking at your class score and comparing it to the school score. Let's say that our school score is 102.5. Okay, arbitrary number, 102.5. This is how you figure your class score. First of all, we didn't finish Cookie Monster and Elmo. Let's just make it easy. Cookie Monster and Elmo dropped, and we don't have to figure them. All right, so to figure your scores, your indicator scores, take a look at Advanced right here. Will give you 150 points. Mastery is 125 points. Your Basic will give you 100. Approach and Basic and both Unsatisfactory yield 0 points. So for Mastery, how many points do you get? 125 in your class. Advanced is 150. Unsatisfactory is a score of 0. Approach and Basic is a score of 0. Basic is a score of 100. Mastery is a 125. And Approach and Basic is another 0. So let's figure our scores. First of all, 125 plus 150 plus 0 plus 0 plus 100 plus 125 plus 0 gives me a total index of 500. Divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, divided by 7 students, gives me a class score of 71.4. Now compared to this 102.5, you can see that this group of students didn't really help the school at all. In fact, it pulled the school very, very hard. I wonder what this score would be if this child right here moved up just a couple of points. So you remember we were at a 500, right? By moving up from a Basic to a Mastery, that gives me 25 more points, right? So 525 divided by 7 brings me up to a 75. That's not that great, but look how much better that is than a 71. On the other hand, if these two slip slightly, that 71 is going to be much worse. Okay? So I hope this helps. I hope the Classroom at a Glance will help you be a little bit more purposeful in your instruction and what you do in your class every day. Thank you.